Okay, and we are live. So what's happening today is we are going to continue where we left off. Primarily taking care of that leg and the hair strands that I didn't really want to complete last time. Hey everyone who joined. Oh wow, it's a lot more than last time. What's up? Happy to see you guys here. So this time, I think I should merge this all. Yep. Last time we took care of mainly the hair, the dress, and the legs, the ruffles, all that jazz. And this time I'm wondering what to do with this part of the hair, and then we're going to work on the shopping bags, and then this beautiful substitute of a leg we did last time. So let's start on that by getting rid of this beauty. I know a lot of the people who are in the previous stream are probably gonna be upset about that, but I'm sorry you guys. Oh, another thing is we're going to incorporate the cherry blossoms that somebody mentioned last time. So let's work on that. I'm not really too keen on finishing this leg because it feels so awkward to me still. I don't really know how I can make it bend unless I just do something like that maybe? I don't know. I think that could work actually, maybe. Let me make it on a different layer, I'm afraid to screw this up. Also, this time I'm wearing headsets because I listened back to the stream yesterday and I honestly don't know how the people who stayed for the stream could bear listening to my voice. It's all muffled and gross. But thank you to those who did. That's so awesome of you. And this time we're not just streaming on TikTok, we're also streaming on YouTube and Twitch. So I hope that goes well. Although I think TikTok is the best at putting the stream out there. So I'm gonna leave the leg like that. I really don't know what to do there. Now I'm thinking about the hair here. I think we can add an additional strand just like this. Yeah, I think that works. Fills in the space a lot more nicely. Here it feels a bit lacking, so I guess in the rendering process I can add something more here to make it feel fuller, like highlight, shading, all that jazz. But right now it still feels quite lacking and I don't really like that. Hey everyone who joined. Happit Man. That's awesome. Sorry if I butcher y'all's names. I don't know how to pronounce these things. I'm trying my best here. Anyway. Oh wait, I realize we're still in that layer we made. We'll get rid of this and move it down. Perfect. So I feel like I shouldn't touch this part of the hair here. I think it's already quite good, maybe aside from some few little additional hair strands, but that'll be done later in the rendering process anyway. So I don't think that's a problem. And aside from that, the shopping bags I was planning to add here. Let me sketch that out for you guys. Red to tell it apart. I was planning to add one like over here by the finger, and then just draping down and then flowing along with the wind. Although now that I look at it, it feels a bit awkward, I guess. I was also planning to add some here, and then go outwards this way, perhaps, and then some more here that are going to fold that way. I want it to be voluminous so that it fills this spot here. And I also don't want to make it too overcrowded, because last time in the stream we're talking about adding cherry blossoms in the back, and I want to add some petals flowing through the scene. If I make it too cluttered, it's gonna be a bit hard to tell everything apart, so I'm just going to be wary of that. But I also don't want it to feel too empty. I have arrived. Hello, Meliel. You know, after all of this time, I realize I never asked you how to pronounce that. I'm sorry. I do know the Durgil. I know I butchered that as well, but thanks for being here. Happy to see you here. Okay, so I'm going to ditch that leg because I really hate anatomy. It's supposed to bend upwards. I was thinking to kick it up this way and then have it be visible there. And then I realized in the original, where'd I go? In the original reference sheet, she has long boots, and gosh, I really don't want to draw that. So I'm rethinking that decision. I really hate drawing boots, but anyway, I think we'll take care of that later on. So I'm not sure if maybe we start with the shopping bags or we start with the cherry blossoms. I think maybe we should start with the shopping bags and then wait for the dude who kept suggesting cherry blossoms the last time. So I'm gonna pull up some references here. For bam! Those are my references. And we're going to start sketching. Do it in a new layer so I don't mess anything up. Hello to everyone who joined. Happy to see you here. Okay, so thing is, I didn't really establish how the wind is blowing in my scene. And you can tell, especially with the bangs, it's going straight down, but the hair is all over the place. So that's where I'm a bit stuck with the bags. I was thinking to have them flare outwards like that, like I mentioned. But I don't know, it might feel a bit awkward, but I think it really does help with the composition. Anyway, I think we'll just try it and then we'll see how it goes from there. I think the strap is going to be fairly thin, so I'm not going to worry about thickening it up anyways. Just keep it that way, quite nice and simple. And I want to add varying sizes of bags. The thing is, I can't just make it curl that way. I have to consider like the physics of the bag, so to speak. I was thinking this would be the side of the bag, going this way, sort of leaning on the dress here, and then it goes inwards towards her hand there. But I don't like the tangent lines here. So I'm thinking maybe we extend the bag outward there, and I think that would work. Anyway, like I mentioned in the last time, I was planning to animate it as well, and I don't want the bags to be too flowy. I want it to be fairly rigid in the illustration, because anyway, in the animation, I'm going to put some presets to help it look like it's flowing with the wind. And if I make it too flowy, it's going to make it look, I guess, liquid. Hello to everyone who joined. Okay, so I'm going to keep this at a lower opacity so I can make sure that the structure of my bags are good, because that is going to be quite a highlight when I animate it. And no way it wraps around like that. The bags have like 2 points of connection, so I'm going to do that replication over here and there. No, I think it would tie in. Yeah, something like that. And I think the bag would go a bit farther than here, so I'm going to make it something like that. It feels a bit rigid, but again, like I mentioned, that's purposeful because I don't want to make it look so weird and gelatin-like in the animation. Okay, so that's one bag done. This is just very, very loosely drawn. I don't know if I really want to add details, like, let me show you in the references here. I'm thinking maybe of adding details like the creases of the box here on the side of the paper to really sell it that vibe, like she purchased it. I could do that, but I feel like I'm going to leave that to me in the rendering process. You'll have to watch me suffer then. Alright. There could be like the eye holes here where the thing loops through the tie, but I don't really think that's necessary. Anyway, I don't think anybody would even notice that except me. Okay. So to copy the structure of the bag, goes inwards and then pops a bit outwards because there will be like a crease here going inwards, and then the center line travels down all the way and then makes like a triangle at the edges. Might look a bit wrong, but I swear it will make sense when I render it. And it's really messy, I'm sorry about that. Okay, so that's one bag done. I'm thinking to make the next one maybe a bit bigger to fill in the space a bit nicer. So maybe something like this. Wait, tangent line if I do that up there, so I'm going to move it down here. Does that make sense perspective-wise? I don't know. Not really. I think I'm better off rotating that, so let me just pick that. Maybe tilt it a bit more upwards here to really give it like the vibe it's piling up. Okay, I think that works. Now I'm going to connect it up there, get rid of this, and connect it there. Just make rectangular shapes. Now tangent lines again, but I feel like this box as a whole just kind of looks weird to me. Not really sure what to do with that. Okay, move this here. Man, that's a fat box. I don't know if I really thought that through. Anyway, let's just trust the process. Okay, let me make this a bit brighter so you can see what we're looking at. And maybe if I add a solid color, oops, of red, and then clip it into that one so you can tell what's going on. These are the shopping bags. It's heading over there. Okay, I think this can work, but that's really going to be a problem in the rendering scene if I do not refine it a bit better. I feel like the thing would travel up the arm a bit better and then follow the curvature of her arm. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I do realize there are lots of tangent lines here, but I feel like that might just be because I made it incredibly messy. Anyway, let's see how that looks. And boom. Okay, I think that works. Now, the thing is, if I'm going to animate these boxes individually, I kind of have to flesh them out in their own way. So for example, this here little box, let me isolate it from the rest so you can tell. Make this a lower opacity. Boom. Oh wait. There. This little box. If I were to make this a whole animation, I have to make this its own box like that, then connect it in its connecting points. And even behind it, I have to draw extending past the arm so that when I move it, like in the animation, sort of like that, as it flows through the scene, it would make sense. But right now, my concern is the composition, so we're not gonna worry about that. That's for future me to worry about. There's gonna be a lot of problems for future me, but it's alright. I realize I made lots of little lines here. Let me take care of this. Like this. Okay. Now to move on to this part. Because of her hair here, I don't want to make it too cluttered either. I feel like I want the hair of this scene to be the primary focus. So I'm going to have the bags here. I want them to sway with the hair, so as the hair is going this direction, hair flows here, I also want the bags to sort of curve this way. So it's kind of like countering each other. Hair flows here, bags flow here. So let me try that. Okay. I'm just very vaguely drawing boxes. And like I mentioned, I don't really want them to be too large and cluttered like the other side, because I think her hair here looks quite nice, so I feel like it would be a good idea to make that the center of attention for this end. Okay. Now to stack it up. Yeah, something sort of like that. Connect it. Boom. Now, let me remove this so you can see. I had an idea. This is the reason why her hand is shaped this way. I was thinking that along with these bags, she has like, I guess maybe a jewelry bag holding it up there. Sort of like this. But then I feel like that might be over the top. I don't know how we feel about that. Either over the top or it just doesn't make sense. Like, it's quite a strong finger to hold that up. I'll make it relatively small so it makes better sense in my head, but I don't know. It feels like overkill to me. So I feel like I should remove that. Okay, so those are the boxes we're working with. I will refine them so they look less weird and jagged. Back to my original layer here. And we're just going to sketch them out so they make sense. I do like the very exaggerated lines we got going on there, so I think I'm gonna follow that, unless it just really doesn't add to the composition. And I want to make the folds a bit more pronounced this time. So for example, there's a fold going inward here toward the center. So let me show you where that is in our reference. So the fold goes in toward the center like that, then there's a triangle. That's what I'm trying to replicate. So let me do the triangle, sort of like that. And there's a sort of fold in the center here, but I think that will be, once again, up to the rendering, so let's leave that as is. Sorry if I'm boring. I'm pretty sure TikTok recommends it locally, so we have quite a few Kiwis that are joining. Either that or, like last time, we had some Australians joining. So I know it's quite late there. I also don't want to make it too over the top because I know you guys must be tired by now. So I don't want to make it draining. Okay. Yeah, sort of like that. Now this tangent line makes sense, so that's why I'm not really doing much about it. And anyway, I can sort of erase it and like do it as a line art if I do it as a line art later, I will omit this part to not draw too much attention to this area. So I think that's, once again, it's really a problem with the rendering, especially to really sell the vibe of like paper bags. See here, we have this soft shading here, and it's a bit more of a hard edge there. These parts are very hard edges, so I have to mimic that if I want to make it make sense that it's a paper bag. And I feel like maybe a few creases here and there in the paper bag like that would make sense too. Darn, she's loaded. Okay, that makes sense. I think we can work with that. So I'm going to keep these guidelines here. The rope goes upward like that. Hello to everybody who joined. Feel free to chat. I'm always open to conversation. Last time I mainly enjoyed the interaction I had with the people. It was quite funny. Alright, yeah. If I remove this, it does make sense to me. The way the bag folds. Let me add a mask here so that we can see what's going on with the bag. And let me get rid of this. Oops. Yeah, something like that. But it does take away, and it does kind of feel cluttered. So what I'm going to do is, when I color it in, I'll make sure that the focus is more on probably the face area and some of the hair extending outwards. The hair in these areas though, like I mentioned in the last stream, I'm planning to blur those so that it gives a nice bouquet for all my photography lovers out there. Okay, so here's another problem with the tangent lines again. It's way too close, and I think that's what's really bothering me right now. I think maybe I have to thicken these straps so that it doesn't... Oh no, that still bothers me. I don't know, you guys. Maybe I should actually just connect these two and raise it like this. And make it flare outward a bit more. Okay, now we have a tangent line here, and I don't like that either. It's okay. I think I can live with that. It still feels too harsh with the tangent lines. I could maybe bring it down instead of bringing it up like that. So bring the crease and then point it downwards like this. And then have my bag curve upward like this so that we can see differences with the lines here. To get rid of that so it doesn't feel as cluttered. Okay, I think that did it well. Okay, so let's bring the bags back, and we are going to sketch out the other 1, 2, 3, 4 bags. I want to add more to make her look extra loaded. Okay, here we go. I'm going to... I like the way I did this thing. It really sells the vibe of this here crease. So I'm planning to do that again. The middle line is around here. So we should be following that. I hope you guys can hear me, because that's one of my worries with the last time. I'm afraid like I'm just yapping and nobody hears me and then it's really boring. Alright, there we go. Okay, that works. But I feel like the fold is too drastic. Although, I guess shopping bags would do that. Anyway, I'm going to bring that down, Then have some more folds. No, that doesn't look right. No, I don't like that. Okay, what if I dent it inwards? Yeah. Make it look crinkled a bit. Give it more of an organic look. Then bring it back here. Then have a pointy edge there to really sell this fold here in the middle. And once again bring in the corners and then the triangle bit that we did here. Yeah, that looks baggy. That'll be a crease for my later reference when I'm rendering. Hi again! Hey, great to see you. I think you were the person who from Australia who had to go to sleep early, is that right? Yeah, it's quite late. New Zealand. Yep, I knew it. Also, we didn't have too much, so I could remember you fairly well. Thanks for sticking around and coming back too. Happy to see you again. Alright, so I think that does look fairly crinkled enough. Don't also want to make it look too like, I guess, I don't know what to call it, just like unkempt, I guess you could say. I don't want to make it look too unkempt. I want to make it look like she just shopped at posh areas. Okay, so now for the final little bag here, I'm going to have it curve outward. I don't know, outward or inward? I'm a spam like. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. I don't know how we feel, outward or inward. Feel like, because if it's outward like this, it would connect this way. And then if it's inward, it would connect this way. And then the bag would be like that a bit. Looks like it's really stacked on there. I feel like outward. Yeah, I feel like you're right. This one just feels a bit too unnatural. Okay, so let's do that. Okay, boom. And just a little bit here and have it extend a bit outward again. And then going to do that little triangle thingy that we did last time. Maybe a bit more of a crease here. Really give it that crinkled vibe. Yeah. Okay, I think that works. A bit too crinkled maybe. Okay, that works. The structure of this one doesn't make too much sense to me. I'm gonna extend this up a bit more and then give it a nice fold there. And then make that center line that we see in all the other bags. Then, yeah, that works. I didn't draw the strings, I just realized, so let's take care of that. So for the strings of this one, I feel like, so it would go up there, it would be around here and then back here. So there would be strings going up here again, then looping back around. Then here we'll see the poke through, and then here looping back around again. Wait, maybe I think I have to... Okay, yeah! Hello everybody. I do realize that we have quite a bit more than last time. Last time we only had a few people. They keep joining and then leaving. I don't mind though, it is quite late. I understand y'all have work in the morning. Got better things to do. Okay, so I made the string there and the string loose back here, so we won't be seeing that. Now the string here would be visible. I think I'll just make it like this and then like that. It's a bit chaotic, but I think it will be fine because when it's animated we can tell them apart fairly well. Okay. Darn. Thanks, Miss Nix. I do see that you keep spamming, like, that's so awesome. Just seeing it climb up. Okay, so almost 1K likes. Yeah, I bet that's all you. Thank you. Okay, so now we move to the bags here. We could add more here, but I feel like that would make it way too cluttered, so I'm gonna leave that as it is. And the 2 bags here I think would be fine. So let's make our line here, extending outward there, then bring it back. Okay, wait, I didn't think about the perspective. Yeah, 999. Ugh, 999. Let's go. Okay. So I'm going to bring this inward and then outward again to give it that midline. And since it's in perspective, the middle line would probably be either closer or farther, I feel like. 1K, let's go! Okay, so I'm going to... maybe this one would be a bit more of a crisp bag. Anyway, if I give it too much personality, I feel like it takes away from the hair here, which I don't want. So I'm going to make it flare outward a bit, like this. Then like that, connects back here. Boom! I think that works well. Take care of that. I'm not sure you guys know why I keep rotating my canvas, because as you may notice, I keep doing this every now and then drawing, and then doing it and drawing again. The reason I do that is because if I make a line that is, for example, let me reset my view. If I make a line that I want to draw horizontally like this, if I were to draw it normally, as you can see I made it a bit wonky. So if I just rotate it and then strike downwards like this, it not only does it give me that point, I have a better line. Guess what? What? What's up? Okay, so back to the bags. Sorry to bore you with this. Last time, mainly we did the ruffles. Now it's going to be the bags and probably the sakura in the back. My birthday is under N2. What do you mean? Oh, no way, that's so close. Maybe we have to do a stream then to wish you happy birthday as well. I'll keep it in mind. My spelling sucks, nah. My spelling is really bad. Especially when, I guess like a setup like this when someone's speaking and I'm typing to catch up. It's really bad. Completely incohesive. Okay, I think I'm gonna make this bag just nice and crisp. Oh wait, let me rotate this. Nice and crisp all the way through. Just don't want to give it too much, I guess, personality to take away from the hair. Okay. Autocorrect also does me dirty. True. Let me tell you, so many times I have misunderstandings because I have autocorrect on. And you know, it kind of does it last second so you don't even notice that it happened until somebody points it out later on. That really sucks. Okay, let me bring that down here. It works at the worst time. Never when I need it. So true. And it's like, when I do need it, the spelling I need is so obvious. Like, I'm just one letter off, but I just can't place it. And autocorrect completely gets it wrong. Okay, and this one will be the front. Okay, I feel like it rests a bit weird, so I feel like I have to move that inwards a bit. Take this, take the lace here as well, then sort of pinch it inward like that. And to connect it to the ropes, that's not gonna be a problem. I can even just move where the punched holes are. Okay. This looks fine. Not too much personality, just like I like it. So bag pops outward here, so I want it to pop a bit outward here too to keep that consistent. And I feel like we won't be seeing much of it pop, so we're just gonna do this. Or something like that, and fold backwards. Yeah, I think that makes a bit sense. Like, how does it go from 2 down and 2? Yeah, true. It's not even like something that makes sense. Okay. I feel like I should make the pop a bit smaller and then join it in like that. Yeah, I think that's good. And then now I'm just going to connect the bag. No, I feel like it should be a bit more structured and boxy, sort of like that, you know what I mean? Yeah. Thing is, it's lopsided, so I'm going to make it a bit shorter, bring it in there. Sort of like this, but then I'm afraid it looks like it makes a tangent line with this here strand of hair. I think I can adjust the strand of hair so it doesn't give it that effect. Let me go here. And yeah, I think that works better. So back to the shopping bags. Oh wait, so I think I plan to keep this in the front. Although, now that I look at it, I think maybe I should have it, the other shopping bag, go towards the back, so that this one would be the main piece, so not too much again takes away from the hair. So let's do that real quick. Yep, this is, how do you draw so good? Really though? I just butchered a bunch of shopping bags, they don't even look that good. Trust me, I bet you draw way better. Okay, so we're going to add some more, oh wait, wrong color. Going to add another lace here, and then have it extend outward there. I feel like it would be a bit closer to the arm, so just make it maybe like that. Or no, I think it go inwards like this. Yeah, that looks good. I can't even draw hands and eyes. Let me show you. That's how you draw eyes, and this is how you draw hands. Isn't it beautiful? It's really all a matter of style. Some people think they don't draw hands and eyes or anything really well, but then when you look at it, it sort of adds to the uniqueness of their style. Oh, that's perfect, thanks. Anytime, I got you. Okay, I feel like this little bag has room for a crease. Give it a bit more personality, because it's kind of bland. Perfect. I think we're all good with the shopping bags now. You reset my view and get rid of this. Now I think we can leave these shopping bags the way they are now. Maybe this one feels a bit awkward to me. I don't know about you guys. Something about it. Maybe the way... Just realized I'm sitting in a pitch black room. Hey, honestly, you know, something about it is kinda comforting. I remember hearing something about a study that people who sit in a darker room, they have more creativity. I can testify to that too. I don't know, maybe it's just that the dimness makes me focus more because there's nothing distracting me. That's how I make sense of it. I'm not sure if that's really the case. And I'm not even sure if that study is true because I didn't back check it. So don't take my word for it. For all I know, I could be helping spread the misinformation. Okay, there we go. I think that's okay. Thing is, the way I see it here is... Oh, okay, I think I see the problem. I think we would see like a bit of the bag here, because it's popping out. Then here again, sort of. Then that's a matter of shading. Random question, what's your favorite animal? Okay. Right now, what comes to mind is a sea slug. You know what those are? Hold on, let me look it up for you guys. Sea slug. Like, specifically the sea bunnies. Aren't they adorable? They're so cute. They're adorable. But I feel like there might be another animal I like more. Sea bunnies, right? They're adorable. I love them. Okay, to follow this bag creasing, I feel like I have to make a sort of crease here as well. Yeah. What's your favorite animal? I feel like we might have some common ground because you like sea bunnies as well. Sea bunnies are so goated. And they were really underappreciated until perhaps recently. Okay, I feel like this one would round the corner here. Okay, it's good. Perfect. I'm gonna keep the bags in a separate folder still so that I can make sure I maintain the hair and everything else. Don't worry about this part. I just I just added a mask so I can easily just disable that. And then it's back. So it's just to really visualize how the bags are looking. I feel like it would look cool if the hair was visible, like kind of wrapping around here. Dinosaurs, dinosaurs, dinosaurs. Did I mention dinosaurs? And dogs, cats, and sea bunnies. Honestly, I get what you mean. You know, I feel like dinosaurs aren't talked about enough. I did see this one video. I don't know if you know it, like that guy who goes on subways and then just takes random people's hot takes. Somebody said, my hot take is people don't talk about dinosaurs enough. And the more I thought about it, the more I realized he's completely right. I mean, these prehistoric, gigantic dudes, and now we just completely like ignore it. Come on. And they're really intriguing, the different species, the way they look. It's really cool. And what's even more cool about it is we don't even really know how it looks like. I'm not sure if you guys have seen those like sketches where artists who make these dinosaur interpretations, because you know they make the interpretations out of the skeletal structure of the dinosaurs. Did you draw that? Yep, I drew everything. Everything you see here, that's me. Yeah, the dinosaur sketchers, they sketch it based on the skeleton of the dinosaur. So like, this was the skull. And then they kind of just follow the skin around it. And I don't really think that's how they would look. So dinosaurs are really quite a mystery. We really should talk about it more. Around Easter, I'm going to my stepmom's uni, and there are dinosaur bones. Really? That is so cool. Darn, I'd love to see that. I love museums. Recently, I went to an art museum. Yeah, totally. I went to an art museum recently. It's really cool. And you can really tell the tastes of different people. Lucky. Oh, don't you guys have art museums there? I'm sure you guys have great ones. Although, the art museums I saw, they're mainly focused around like the Aboriginals, I guess. I think maybe that was where I was when I went there. I do, but I can't go. Oh, that's a shame. Why not? Most of the art museums I see are free to enter anyway. Unless maybe you're busy. Yeah, I get that. Lots of us have a lot of things going on. Okay, I feel like too busy. Yeah, I thought so. It's a great thing to do in my spare time, but you really do need quite a bit of extra time to enjoy it. I went to the art museum, but then I couldn't stay too long, and it's really not enjoyable when you have to rush through. I like to just sit, like, stare at the paintings and then completely make up the scenarios in my head. I loved, like, the interpretations of it and all that jazz. It's really cool. Okay, I feel like I'm really having a problem with the leg here. Since yesterday, I really don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I feel like I'm really considering just ditching it entirely or like covering it with an extra bit of hair flowing here. I could do that, but then it makes it feel too cluttered, especially with the bulk of the bags here. So I'm thinking maybe I just make her leg go straight down. Oops. Me. Oh, my eraser size. Oh, it's not my razor. Boom. I feel like something sort of like this, but it just takes away from the dynamic pose. I love me a good dynamic pose. But I don't want to draw the boots. Wait, let me pull that up again. Thing is, her boots, I'm assuming these are her knees, so the boots are quite high. So if I'm going to draw her leg here, her knees would be around here on its own, so the boots would be very visible. Speaking about art museum, my dad took me to a art auction. Whoa! And at the start, they were saying whoever ran out of lines. Wow, art auctions. I only ever see those in movies. I never even like see any listings for that. That's so cool. Those people are probably loaded too. I see the artworks and they're really heavily priced. Honestly, for good reason. Anything handmade, I believe they really should be priced high. The value for that is way more than something machine made, and it takes a lot of time. Scream the loudest would get wine, and I screamed the loudest. Hey, let's go. Okay, I think what I want to do now is I'm going to extend my canvas a bit. I'm not gonna keep it this way, but just for the sake of visualization, I guess, I'm going to like bring it down a bit here, and her knees probably would be in this region. So if she were to kick her leg back, maybe it would look something sort of like this. Although the bend is too harsh, let me do this in a different layer. I'm afraid to screw this up. And I randomly won a painting. No way! Is the painting any good, or is it like just random squiggles? Okay, I'm going to make the leg kick back a bit less, maybe something. Okay, I realized my mistake. The problem is the knee is way too low. See, if her pelvis was, because this is where her waist is, then the waist connects to the pelvis around this region. So her hips down to her legs around there. So also I made this way too skinny, no way. It's great, it's like a tree, cool. But it's printed on because they didn't give me the I would have loved to see the OG. You know, like the thing about the OG paintings, I love the way the paint pops out. Like it has texture. If you feel it, it looks so cool. Okay, so I know the legs are... Wait. Yeah, I made it too thin. And I don't know if it would really be this long. Let me get rid of this. It's giving me some confusion. Okay. Right, so that looks weird. The way it tapers, I think I exaggerated it a bit too much. Wait, where did I draw that even? I drew that on a layer, I don't know where that is. Oh no, okay. I'm gonna take this out before I forget. because it's in the original sketch. I don't want to ruin it. Let's put this back and then just keep it here. Yeah. I know, right? I love feeling it. 100%. It adds to the art vibes. Not just feeling it, like even just seeing it. That's so awesome. I remember we had paintings in one of the Airbnbs we stayed in. It was obviously printed, but then they like put some bulk slashes of paint around it like that. And that alone really added to the vibe. Like, you know, just the depth of it, it makes it look so much nicer. Okay. So, okay, I think we're finally getting somewhere. The thing is, this one is too large. The knee would probably be the biggest part because the legs are almost like made this way, like an inverted triangle. When I was in grade, I think 5, I ate paint because it looks so creamy. Tell me about it. Let me tell you, paint looks so delicious. The way it's like so glossy and the way it like so glossy and thick, man. They should make some sort of edible paint. I think that would like sell out so well. Okay, now back to the problem about the boots. So her knee is around there, so I would assume her boots are like here. Okay, I think that's good. I don't know if I want to extend the drawing where the hair would go this way, sort of, and the hair here would connect. Hair would go here. Okay, I don't really think it adds too much, so I don't think I need to extend the drawing. They need edible paint, 100%. Well, I was typing that while you said it. Yes! We're on the same page here. Okay, so... Okay, I'm just gonna make a basic foot, just like that. Okay, now if I were to crop it back to the way it was before, whoops. Something like that. Oh, I think I see the problem. The reason the leg looks so broken was I was really like trying my best to bring it all the way back here, and no way the leg would have bent that way. So if I really wanted to make the leg bend, it would be something more like this. Okay, that's good. This worked for me, and I like that. My friend copied me. What do you mean? How? Darn, I hate copycats. I like the credit to myself. I know it sounds selfish, but then I really don't like it when people take my hard work or something that was really creative and then they take it, like, pass it as their own. I really hate that. She ate paint after I did. No way. Gosh, I hope you guys are okay. Hey there, Sam. Oh man, that just reminded me of college. The semester is starting soon. I'm having flashbacks. No. Okay. Feet don't look like that. The thing is, I guess the thing about the feet is it would sort of round inwards to show you the heel, but then I can't just round it like that, so let me look up some reference. I had yellow, she had blue. Darn, complementary colors too. Just that's how the best friends do it. Okay. Leg anatomy. Because I'm really stuck. Okay, while it loads. Okay, perfect. I don't see enough like side references. Oopsies. Okay, I'm getting a notification that... Oh wait, no. TikTok is just playing with me. Darn, it's already 9:28. Yeah, almost 9:30 over there. Here it is 12:28. Okay, so I know what I'm lacking. The thing is, you would probably have your, what's that called again? Your calf here. So it would curve outward sort of like that. I'm not gonna make her muscular, so just curve outward a little bit, then curves back inwards to form the heel. I've gotta sleep soon, but I don't wanna. Trust me, morning you would appreciate it if you sleep sooner rather than later. So many times I sleep late and in the morning I regret it so badly. Then sometimes it just feels the same sleeping late or sleeping early. Okay, yeah. I feel like something is a bit off. Let me get rid of my reference here again. Okay. So something feels a bit off. Maybe the way I drew the calves all the way down to the heel, because I think it would taper in a bit more. The thing is, in reality, it probably would look like that. Let me see. Let me extend the canvas again. Okay, so sort of like that. Yeah, that makes sense. The thing is, it's cropped, so we can't really tell what's going on. That's why it looks like her leg is, I guess, broken. I got a new phone because I dropped my phone and it broke. Oh no. But not even a week later, I dropped it in water for like 30 minutes. No way. That is so sad. I I recently got a new phone as well. Actually, not too recently. I got it like April of last year. Ever since I got it, I have been like cradling it like a baby till now. I feel so scared about dropping it anywhere. I realize I don't like how bulky this looks. Let me just fix this so it tapers a bit more nicely. There we go. I wanted to ask something. I wanted to ask Apple or Samsung, but then I realized I might start a little bit of a war, so then now I'm refraining from that. And it's still standing though, but it could not stand a small drop. The same brand. My goodness. I mean, probably the IP rating is low, so it's not waterproofed very nicely, especially like around the SIM area. That's where it's mainly problematic. Because some of the newer phones for the SIM, they have like a ring around it to block the water from coming in. Okay, I think we're good with this. The final drawing, final sketch probably would end up like this. Now, I think I want to crop it further, because this lower portion is more taking away than adding from the drawing, so I'm gonna crop it like this. Yeah, I think that works nicely. Now, something about the face is kind of bothering me. I guess maybe the way she doesn't have much of a cranium. So, I'm going back to the drawing board, main sketch here, and I'm just going to use my liquify tool. Let me zoom in a little bit. And I'm going to give her a bit more of a cranium, because it just feels a bit too narrow, doesn't feel realistic. Let me put her space buns up. Okay. I think that works nicely. Don't need this crossing over, and I feel like it should be a bit longer this way. Yeah, but it was a small drop. I was bending over hand like it was a tiny, sorry, like only a tiny bit over the ground and accidentally dropped it. Darn. I remember how I cracked my phone screen one time was I put it in my pocket and then I entered like a cab and the cab door wouldn't close, so I kept like shutting the door over and over, like just bringing it in and shutting it. And then I realized, like I kept trying to shut the door even harder each turn. And then I realized the reason it wasn't shutting was my phone in my pocket was right in the door frame. So as I kept shutting the door, I kept like destroying my phone more and more. So it was completely smashed, but I don't know the brand of that tempered glass because it was so good. My screen was completely intact after I removed it. Man, I think I have to get that tempered glass again. That was really good. But I was in absolute disbelief. My screen was really shattered. Well, not the screen, the tempered glass. Huh? I know. The power of Samsung, my friend. Although I remember we did have an iPad one time, it was really resilient. We threw it down the stairs a couple of times. Rather not elaborate why. But we threw it down the stairs sometimes, and it would, because my little brother was a baby back then, so it like went through all sorts of hell, just being tossed around and all that. Me saying ha got blocked. TikTok is weird like that, let me tell you. I got so many like restrictions, like here and there, and then you have to go around to fix it, and it's such a hassle. But I mean, at least they're trying to keep the community safe, I guess. Something about the hair here feels off. I don't know if I'm just nitpicking or like I'm looking at it too long. Something else, I want to have the hair extend a bit more because the volume of this doesn't match where it's coming from. So something, yeah, something like that would make sense. It's like curling upward there. Let me do this again. Okay. Not gonna lie, you're like my favorite streamer. Oh, thank you! That made my day. I was really contemplating streaming because I really don't know how well I'm doing. But it's comments like that that really keep me going. Not just streaming, but like social media as a whole. These wholesome comments, man, they get to me every single time. If I go to bed, I'm like so giddy, like kicking my feet. You're doing great. Thank you. Y'all are really so sweet. Okay, so I feel like I'm going to leave the sketch at that. I'm gonna leave the leg. It's caused me so much frustration. So I'm gonna leave it like that. Now this part feels a bit lacking to me, but I also don't want to add too much if these will move, and this ribbon here as well. So probably gonna leave that. And here it's also lacking, but that's alright because we're going to add some cherry blossoms. Let me group this all in one so that, okay, perfect. And this one was the gray layer that we made last time so that it can be distinguished from the rest. If you do get hate comments, they're just chilly and can't hide their emotions. Honestly, I find hate comments really funny. I don't know about you guys. I find them funny, and sometimes if they're creative, I let them pass. Like, you can be, if you're gonna be hateful, at least be creative. I love it. For real. It's like at that point, maybe I even deserve it, like, sure, go for it. Okay. Now the bags are new, that's why they're not added in. The leg was new-ish, so didn't color that in. The ribbon's also new, although it's not gonna be this stationary in the animation. So let me just erase this. I'm going to just add these gray bits so that I can tell so I can tell it apart. Can you draw a dino real quick? Of course, let me look up some references. Okay. Let me see. What's your favorite kind of dinosaur? Let me draw that one. Because there are so many species, I don't know which one to pick. While I wait for that, I'm going to continue adding these gray bits. Every time I ask somebody what's their favorite dinosaur, the more unknowledgeable they always go for Tyrannosaurus Rex. Or I guess maybe some of the people who look a little bit more into it would say like the pterodactyl. Probably because they probably think it's cool because it flies. I don't know what it's called, but it has feathers and wings and a beak. Pterodactyl? I don't know if attack bull. No. Okay, I'm just going to maybe draw one with feathers and a beak. Let me find one good reference for that. Okay. Not very good at drawing animals or dinosaurs, so don't judge me too harshly. Okay. So I'm guessing something like this. Then give it a beak. By the way, your voice is really calming. Oh, thank you. That makes me so happy to hear. I was planning to use a voice changer because I don't really like the sound of my voice and I feel like people won't either. So whenever I got the comments like that, like last time when they mentioned my voice is nice to listen to, that made my day. I'm kind of glad I didn't go with the voice changer. Okay, let me get rid of my sketch here so you can see what's going on. And the belly. I feel like I'm doing something wrong. Okay. And then maybe a tail like that. No, I think I'm doing something way wrong. Okay. There's something... I'm not sure if that's an actual dinosaur. Then I'm giggling and kicking my feet inside. Oh, that's me every time I like read the comments. That's so me. Yesterday when I finished my stream, went to bed, I'm like giggling. So I'm like so giddy. Okay. Maybe something like that. No, I think it would taper in a bit more. And from what I'm seeing, there is a second wing. Just reminds me of like How to Train Your Dragon. Okay. Now I don't know if I should put the other wing down here. I'll have to go soon. Oh, it's okay. You should sleep. Anyway, I think this stream will have to end soon as well. Yeah. Yeah, it's getting late there. Down there is good. Yeah, I hope it's coming out nicely. I've never drawn dinosaurs before. Okay, taper, and then I feel like it should extend a bit more outwards. I love it. Oh, thank you! Okay, there we go. I do see that in my reference it has like horns sort of things going on. Something sort of like that. I'm not sure if that's accurate or anything. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it at that. Oh, I made it in my gray layer. I drew a realistic dino with a tutorial, but I still love it. Oh, you should totally post that. I'd love to see it. Let me actually keep this one. We'll keep it among the rest of the stuff that happened with when I streamed. I'm gonna compile them all. Let me get these gray bits out of the way. I didn't realize I was drawing in the same layer. Wait, what the? Did something wrong. Okay, there we go. Just going to move these gray bits. I could do the magic one, but nah. Okay, let me invert the selection, rotate. Then omit the rest. There we go. That's in its own layer. I can't post, sadly, but I can try to send photos if I can find it. It was a bit ago. Yeah, I'd love to see it. But I'll have to wait 2 weeks because that's when I clean my room. Yeah, no worries. My account's always open. Like, send a DM whenever you like. I actually love receiving them. Sometimes they take a while to reply, so I'm sorry about that. Okay, let's keep this with the rest. Okay, awesome. Now, let's go continue with the grays. I was thinking maybe I should stream a bit earlier, especially like when you commented last time you mentioned you had to go to sleep. Also, cause TikTok recommends the videos a bit more locally, so not just you, but a lot of people who come across the live have to go to sleep, so I have to take that into consideration. I feel like that might be a big reason why the viewership is quite low. So many people are sleeping and they got work to do in the morning or school. Okay, let me get rid of this here. Well, I should go now, but thanks for making my night. Oh, I'm so glad. I'm so glad to have made your night. You made my night. I'm so happy to see you again. I'll stream again in 2 days just for you to celebrate your birthday. Yeah. See you then. Good night. February 18. Let me write that down. Because I'm so bad with this. I'm so bad at remembering dates, you guys. Bye. See ya. See you next time. See you February 18. Okay. I'll make a stream then. Okay. So let me keep this in a separate folder. But I'm going to leave it open so that I make sure I don't forget that until I put it in my Google Calendar or something later on. So now I'm thinking about the cherry blossoms that we're planning to add here. I don't want it to be too crazy. I was thinking maybe, let me get a brush to illustrate this. Hold on. Something maybe like, yeah. So I'm going to pick pink here, sort of a pinkish tone like that. I'm really worrying if because I'm not just streaming through TikTok, I'm streaming through YouTube and Twitch, and I don't know if maybe either I'm really doing bad there or people are actually commenting and I'm not responding. I feel bad. Okay, so something like this. And I don't want to overdo it. Let me find some references I'll show you. I picked out some references earlier. This is sort of what I'm going for, where the trees are like you don't really see the trunk of the trees, it's more so the branches and the flowers, because the trunk is really gonna take away from the whole illustration. And I'm planning to make the sakuras also a bit darker so that our main character here would stand out a bit nicer, but that's going to be another problem in the rendering. I'm going to illustrate it in grayscale so that I'll have a better idea. But anyway, I think I'm just going to have some random pink splooches going around here to sort of give it that illustration, like, I mean, not illustration, illusion, that like it's around and has depth. So I think I'm gonna leave it like this, and then aside from those, I'm going to have some in the foreground as well, but it will be blurred, but to really sell the effect. So sort of something like that, reaching outwards. And I want one here in the foreground as well, because as I mentioned earlier, it's a bit bland here, so I'm going to add there so that it, I guess, balances it out a bit more nicely. And then the tree branches, let me put that in, oops, put that in a new layer and pick a different brush. Where'd it go? Right. This is not the brush I was using a while ago, but it'll do. So, let me pick a nicer brown color, because the sakuras are not really gray. It's like a grayish brown, I guess. So, I'm thinking maybe just like some small intonations of like branches, but I don't want it to be too overbearing. This is just like a very, very basic sketch to sort of illustrate the idea. But basically, something like this to show that these are not just random pink blobs, but like a tree. And I would bring down the opacity maybe so that it doesn't take away. But I think we're heading in the right direction. So I'm going to leave it at that. This will be my reference. I'm going to remove this for future use. Now you're going to have to come along with me while I have to scrub my layers because I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, okay. I feel like you might be interested in seeing this. Let me just put this all in the same place. So, hold up, what do I do? Okay, there we go. So, this is our current layer, this is what we're working with, and I think this is going to be what the final result will be looking like. And this came from this. This was the initial sketch, the overall composition, that was what I was planning to do. So you can see the vibes. This is, you can see like her holding the little bag there that I mentioned earlier. And now this is what we're working with. Something about the original one, I see some more, I guess, movement in it. I think I should duplicate this and merge them all. And this is something here in Photoshop called the puppet wrap. So it makes this nice little grid, then put the anchor point usually around the waist or the stomach, then here to the legs, then the neck, and then the head. Now I think this was my main issue. It's like the dynamic pose I was initially going for is not curved enough to give a good line of action. So if I were to change it up a bit like so, let me finalize that. This is how it looks like afterwards. This is what it was like before. Are we seeing the vision? I don't think it changed too much, honestly. I know the strands are gone from the puppet wrap, but initial one, new one. I think one thing I like about what happened was the way this face is smooshed in a bit better. Because her eyes are supposed to be a bit more rounded, and I think I want to recreate that. Let's go to liquify. Then let's smoosh that face. Let's bring it down inwards like this. Let me off the backdrop so that you can see what's going on here. Yeah. I'm also afraid to overdo it. It's gonna make her look a bit cross-eyed. Okay, I think that looks fine. What do we think? I think that does look better. Before, after, before, after. I think that does look better. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but something about this eye feels a bit smaller maybe, and I don't think that looks right, so let's fix that again with the liquify tool. Zoom in, and enlarge it a bit more, but then still it has to be slimmer, because I was planning to go for like the 3/4 view. Let me fix this up, and then fix her cranium like a while ago again, because girly needs a brain. Okay, I think we are all good with the sketch. All that's left now is to do the final revisions. I feel like I'll do that off camera so that I can leave the rendering for on camera. I don't want to bore you guys with like the composition, the colors and all that, because what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be drawing in grayscale. I'm going to basically show what I want to be the focuses of my drawing. So for example, I want my background to be, wait, let me pick a better brush, it's gonna lag my PC. Great, now we have to wait. I did not think that through. Okay, let me pick a simpler brush. So if I were to say this is my background, where the background is darker and she is lighter than the background, she certainly pops up a lot more. But I did not color in this gray very well, that's why it's like she's kind of see-through. See, yeah. But this way, she pops up a lot more, and it really helps with the composition. I can make things as cluttered and as messy and as detailed as I want, but as long as I keep this sort of vibe where the background is darker and she is brighter. Thing is about us humans is we are naturally drawn to like brighter things rather than darker things, so that's why I wanted her to be brighter than the background, because she is the main she's like the main star of this whole composition, so I don't want her to be drowning in the background. The problem is with the plan, night got ice, okay, good night. The problem is with that plan we were going with earlier was we were planning to do cherry blossoms, and the thing about that is, I don't know if you can tell, let me put a filter above it all, black and white, boom. It's lighter, if not lighter, if it's like almost the same as her like color, but I can fix that perhaps, maybe. I think that will be really a lot on the composition, which I will do probably off camera. I don't think you guys would be really interested in that, because anyway, it's gonna be quite simple, straightforward, and then on camera again on February the 18th. We're going to stream again, going to do the final composition with all of the colors put in place so that you don't see me second guessing myself over and over in the stream. And I'm not sure what we're going to do about the sakura. Maybe we're going to keep it darker, like a nice deeper shade, and maybe we're going to have her be lighter. This was what it looks like now with the modifications. This is what she looked like before. I don't know how we feeling about this. Let me remove this so you can tell. So this is now, and this is before. before, now. Can you tell? Let me fix you guys so you can see it a bit better. So that's before, and this is now. I feel like the now really captures more of like the childish look, but the thing about it is I want to, because the thing when I did that, I merged them all, so they're all in this one layer. But I want to keep them in a separate layer, so I'm going to redo that, recreate it with the initial, oops, sorry guys, with the initial sketch layer. So we're going to go back, filter, and we're going to do the same thing. It's mainly the eyes anyway, and fixing her cranium, because I really did not make space for her brain. Because if I were to illustrate this for you guys, I'm going to draw it in red so that you can see it a bit better. And I'm going to get my brush. Yeah. So if this is the face of the human, there's the center line, so that's where our nose and the middle of our mouth aligns to, and that's the middle line between the eyes. The reason why her eyes are not in the center line, it's not centered properly like what you might think, is she is facing a bit to the side. So if her face were like a cube, it would look something like this. You get me? So the thing about that is, if you're going to draw faces like this, and the face is here, one thing you have to make sure is the eye bump. Make sure you draw that so it makes sense. The way your eye indents this way because of the eyes, and then pops outwards because of the eyebrows, then pops outwards here again because the cheeks is voluminous. I guess you can decrease it to give it less of a childish look and more. You can also make it have a sharper edge and have a taller like curve up there to really make it look a bit more mature. But I'm not going for that vibe, that's why I made it lower and a bit more chubby to really give it a bit more of a childish vibe. And as I was saying, thing is, I did not really make too much space for her cranium, because this is what a human skull looks like. We have a cranium back there where brains are. That's where a brain would be. So I didn't really take that into consideration. That's why it looks a bit weird. The hair is like just covering it, and that's why I wanted to fix it with the liquify tool. Let me get rid of this, and let's do that. Okay, first things first, let's take care of the eyes. Smoosh it in a bit more without doing the cross-eyed look. And then I'm going to bring her head back to give her space for her brain. I know you might think I'm nitpicking, but anatomy really makes or breaks the look of certain drawings. You can do stylized drawings, cartoonish drawings, but sometimes you really still have to make sense of the anatomy. Otherwise, it just really looks like unprofessional and like a beginner. Okay, let me move this upwards a bit. Okay, something still feels off to me. Let me bring the hair back like that and push the hair upwards. Then, oops. Yeah, I think that works. Does it? Okay, maybe like this. So this is before, this is after. Before, after, before, after. I think we made some improvement. I'll take that. Okay, so I think we'll call it a night, guys. It's 1:03 here, and I really want to sleep. And aside from that, we are pretty much done with the whole sketch. So I'm going to leave it at that, you guys. I'm going to finalize the colors for the composition in grayscale so that everything makes sense to me and I have a better sense of direction where I'm going when I do a live again. But yeah, see you guys on February 18, probably a bit earlier than when I usually start so that more people can be sure to tune in. Thank you guys for coming, and I'll see you on the 18th. Bye! Okay, for my friends over on Twitch, you guys are next. Let's end that. And finally, for my buddies over on YouTube,